All right, so Debbie, here we are. It is more moments with you. Are you ready for your top 10 questions?
I am.
Sweet. Here we go. Question number 1. If you had to choose between the two, which would you pick? Batman's utility belt or a fanny pack?
Oh, definitely Batman's utility belt.
There was no hesitation.
No hesitation, yeah. I just got done watching The Dark Knight. I mean, Batman and all his toys. It's just so cool. The possibilities are endless what you could do with that utility belt.
Right?
Much more chic than a fanny pack, too, in my opinion.
Ooh, okay. But what if the utility belt came empty? Does that change anything?
I'd probably still go with the utility belt.
Because you could still fill it with all kinds of accessories and stuff.
Absolutely. And it does look better than a fanny pack.
It does. All right, question number 2. What is your favorite movie?
Ooh, my favorite movie. There are so many. The ones that I watch again and again and again. Pretty Woman, any of the Avengers. Obviously, the Batman movies, all of that particular series. Action, adventure, anything that just lets me escape for a while.
Right. Okay, well, since you brought up the Batman movies, so we've got there's the made-for-TV movie with Adam West. Then you've got Michael Keaton and George Clooney and, oh my gosh, Val Kilmer. And then you've got Christian Bale. And then you've got Ben Affleck. And then we've got the other guy. What's his name? Is it Patterson? Robert Patterson, maybe? The new one that's coming out? Do you have a preference of your Batman?
I'll tell you, I really liked Michael Keaton when he did Batman. And I grew up with Batman on TV, the episodes, and the kapow and everything like that. Yeah, the sound effects are way different now. But yeah, and yeah, I would have to say Michael Keaton.
Got it. Okay. Question number 3. What is your favorite quote?
Ooh, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. And I believe that's attributed to Henry Ford.
Yeah, Henry Ford, or the little engine that could. I think it pops up in that movie too.
I mean, it just speaks to mindset and possibility, and it is a fence. And what side of the fence are you on?
Yeah, That's good. Do you remember where you first heard that?
I saw it somewhere. It was a number of years ago, probably 10 years ago. On the internet somewhere, and it just really resonated with me. And oftentimes you have time to think a little more about the particular question. The second quote, and this is probably just as important, is Marianne Williamson has a quote about our deepest fear. And I encourage anyone who hasn't heard it to Google Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear. That was one. It's just, about being afraid of your light and not your darkness. Who are you to be talented, fabulous, funny, but who are you not to be? So hiding your light really serves no one is the theme of that particular quote. And it's very, very impactful. The first time I heard it, I think I went from dry eyes to sobbing uncontrollably in about, 4 seconds. It was that impactful. So anybody who hasn't looked into that, anybody who wrestles with limiting beliefs or self-doubts or, just those things that get in our way, to look up that quote. It's very powerful.
Absolutely. I've seen that come up a lot in my own coaching and in my own life. There's so many times when we can sit there and think, well, maybe I'm not. Maybe, well, what if I was successful? That's crazy scary. What the heck would that look like? And we pull back. That's
self-sabotage, baby. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's oddly comforting in all the wrong ways. That's great. Well, speaking of advice or perspectives, what is the best advice that you have ever received?
The best advice that I have ever received really relates to belief in self and perseverance. You know, if it's something that you believe in, just keep trying. You know, if you know it at some level, just keep trying.
Do you remember who gave you that?
You know, I don't. So it was earlier on. It could have been my grandmother, or somebody, you know, out of college going into the work environment.
Right.
Yeah.
If you believe in it, just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I buy that. I buy that for more than $1. That's good. All right, next question. Favorite childhood toy?
Favorite childhood toy? Ooh, one of them would have been Simon. Do you remember the electric version of Simon? And it had the 4 quadrants and the 4 colors, and it would spit out a pattern, and you would have to replicate the pattern. And once you did that, then it's like, okay, level up, baby. And it would get more complicated, and it would get faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to show that to my kids the other day because they make a new version of that, you know, as like a phone app. And so you just, it's not the same because you don't have the thing to hold on to, right? Like the disc, and then like the feel of the different quadrants and stuff. But still, the idea that, you know, you got to hit this, and then you got to hit this and this, and yeah, that's great. I love that one. So while you were a kid, we'll stick there for a second for the next question. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh, you know, I always wanted to be a secretary from the time I was a little girl. And back then we called it a secretary. Like, you know, I'm dating myself, I'm sure. But I had a toy Tom Thumb typewriter and I had an orange Snoopy phone, and I would sit at the coffee table and play secretary for hours. You know, my dad would bring home all of the forms from his office, and you know, I would type on them, and the dining room was my boss's office, and I would go in there and, you know, take dictation and stuff like that. And so all, you know, through growing up and even heading into college, I started out, you know, the executive secretarial program. And, you know, it's an interesting foundation for future growth. Because when you think about it, as an administrative assistant, which is more commonly called today, you have access to the goings-on at a very high level that other people normally don't. You learn a lot, and you know, you are seated kind of at the right hand, right? And you get to notice a lot, and so it's an interesting place to make a leap from, which is exactly what I did. And but it provides a lot of visibility and a lot of the kind of behind-the-scenes sort of education that isn't formal.
So what do you think was attractive about that to you as a kid? Like what drove you to be like, you know what, the secretary stuff or the administrative assistant, like that's really where I want to go?
Well, okay, so this was probably a backward way that it came about. My father died when I was very young, and so, you know, as any good therapist will tell you, when something traumatic happens to a child at a younger age, it can cause issues, especially control issues. You know, you want safety, you want security, you want to be able to control things the best way that you know how, considering you're not an adult. And so hindsight is also a blessing. And so in looking back, it was like I was good at it. I enjoyed it. It was like, okay, I could control this. But conversely, you know, that was me playing small too, staying in that comfort zone.
So it was the beginning, not the end. It was the first step.
See, I thought it was it. I mean, I just thought that's, you know, all I ever wanted to be. And of course, I graduate college and I've arrived. You know, I'm like 20 some years old, and it's like, I've achieved everything I ever wanted in life. Okay. But, you know, mentors are something that I believe in a great deal. I have programming around mentoring, and I mentor other individuals because it was the mentors who came into my life when my dad died, and it was the mentors who came into my life at a young age outside of college. Like, hey, let's go for more. Apply for this job. And I'm like, I can't do that. Sure you can. Apply for the job. And I did, and I got it. And, so it's just, it's interesting, the people that come into your life.
That's great. That's great. Well, speaking about that, what brings you joy?
What brings me joy? Oh, well, a number of things. In no particular order, having family and friends around any table that I have. My dining room table, I could probably get 11 in it, and there have been many times where I've had 11. Al fresco outside by the pool, anytime I can entertain, cook, show my love in that manner for people, especially when it's my family and my friends, makes my heart go pitter-patter. Driving my car makes my heart go pitter-patter. Being able to travel with my husband, being able to speak from stage is just something, that brings me so much energy.
Wow. Well, okay, so then bonus questions. You said you really like to cook.
Uh-huh.
So is there like a dish that you just love to eat after you've cooked it?
There are many.
Well, okay, so how about this? Do you like cooking entrees, or do you like cooking appetizers or desserts?
I'm not a baker, so I am more of a cook. I have no formal training, but God love my mother-in-law, and bless her, she's been gone a number of years now. She taught me how to make all of the old Italian recipes. So she taught me how to make, sauce from scratch, the braciole, the meatballs, the noodles, the whole bit. Of course, she wanted her son to be taken care of, so I needed to know how to make the recipes, the gnocchi and all of that. So, cooking that is my favorite thing to do. Like this weekend, I'll put on a pot of sauce, and I make a big pot of sauce, and then I'll can it so that we've got it.
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
so when you're saying big pot of sauce, like, what are we talking? Because I'm guessing that your big pot of sauce is different than my big pot of sauce.
I'll probably get anywhere between 8 and 10 quart jars of sauce.
Okay, that's a lot of sauce.
It is a lot of sauce, and when you can it, you've got it for a good long time. And as a busy woman, professional, there are nights where you're bumping up against family time trying to get everything done, and it's handy to be able to have that and still have a home cooked meal. So, and the interesting thing is that we've had friends of ours who we cooked the whole Italian dinner for, and then as a thank you, he sent me I think 4 Thai cookbooks. So then I got into Thai and making pad Thai and pad see ew and all of that. So that was fun too. I love, it used to be at my house Thanksgiving. I always have Thanksgiving. You were a guinea pig. You never knew what you were going to get because I would just try all of these new recipes, like whatever I got excited about. And then finally my family was like, stop. We like this turkey. We like this stuffing. We like this gravy.
Tradition.
So.
We want to know what we're going to eat. That's great. Well, and then you also said you really love traveling with your husband. Is there a particular... So, like, there are some people that love to travel to new places all the time, and there are other people that love to travel to specific areas. Like, where do you fall?
I think we're a hybrid, but the coolest vacation that we have taken together to date was in 2018. Thank goodness. We went to the Bordeaux region of France. So I like to cook. I also like wine. And my husband is probably more of a connoisseur than I am. I know what I like, and I drink what I like. But that was an amazing vacation to Bordeaux, to be able to do the river cruise and travel to all of that was just so much history, so much learning. I would do it again.
That's great. That's great. And I'm having trouble staying focused because I'm thinking about wines and food.
I know.
It's good. Okay, so if we were to turn that around for a second, the last question was what brings you joy. This question is what brings you dread.
Oh, I'm gonna say me when I get in my own way. And what brings me dread is that when I get in my head in not a good way. And usually that's when I'm about to do something I've never done before, something bigger, launch something. And dread might be a heavy word, but it could be pressure, little lost sleep.
Right.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, it's like once I've got it under my belt, I'm okay. Like, I remember when my husband and I first got married, I did not cook. And I learned to cook for him. That's how much I love him. And I used to have all of the holiday parties for his business. And the first one, I cooked everything. And I was a wreck about it. And, years later, he would call me and say, hey, we were supposed to go out tonight with the sales guys and we can't. Can you cook something for dinner? And it's 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, sure. How many people do we have? 16. I'm like, okay, no problem.
Holy
so
cow.
It's just that replication, there's anxiety coming up on the front side of it. But once you get it under your belt, like once you've given yourself permission to replicate and refine, then it's that muscle memory, but it's in between your own 2 ears. So
yeah. Oh, that's good. You're good. Okay, so here we go. Last two questions. Question number 9. What is one thing that you would like to accomplish but cannot do on your own?
That would be getting my Certified Speaking Professionals designation.
Ooh, the CSP.
The CSP, yes. I've got year 3 under my belt. This is the start of year 4. And of course, I so appreciate all of my clients and future clients who may be listening that will help me do that.
Nice. Okay, here it is. The last one, number 10. We're bringing it down with this. What do you hope people say about you after you're gone?
Ooh, interesting. What do I hope people say about me after I'm gone? That she showed her love for others in everything that she did.
What is that? Can you elaborate on that?
That the people who were closest to me know that they were loved and cared for from me in the actions that I took, and professionally, that the audiences that I've had the privilege to speak to, that the clients that I've had the privilege to work with knew that they were loved and cared for as well, that they could feel my heart in everything that I did.
Debbie, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.